Anyway, I'll make this really quick because she's like, the food got here. Anyway, so yeah, like I kept arching closer and closer to him. Um, and I started to kind of pick up some little Poro toys and everything and like hand them to him. But I didn't try to hold him this time or try to like get too close. I was maybe like a small distance away from him and he was sitting up and playing, but I really didn't want to scare him because he did cry a few times to the teacher as well as looking over and scanning the room and looking at me. But he did show curiosity, like, oh, who is that? And that kind of hurt a little bit too, seeing your own child kind of not instantly recognize you because, you know, obviously when he was around me every single day, he recognized me. I was his primary caregiver. I was his mom. I was the person who was there since day one. And it hurt a little bit to see. It was such a weird feeling to see. It was almost like feeling alienated a bit. But I tried to remind myself that, you know, today was for, yes, it was for me to get to see him, but it was also for, you know, my son, the baby, and that me wanting too much for myself out of the situation and wanting what I wanted out of the situation, like pushing myself to give him a hug or be too much close to him and scare him wouldn't be beneficial for his emotional needs at all. So yeah. So just seeing how he was interacting with the toys, and I didn't try to talk to him too much, but I would like talk to the teacher about him and like, oh, he's so handsome, he's so cute, he's adorable. Oh, look, he's got like this feature, that feature is similar to mine. She's like, what are you doing? My daughter's like, what are you doing? Anyway, and what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I did cry, like start to tear up a couple times and like look away and try to cover my tears. It wasn't like tears of sadness per se. It was just tears of shock of wow, this has already happened. There's no fixing it. I mean, obviously there's rebuilding the relationship, but like the damage has already been done. And it's such a weird feeling because I've always been with my two other daughters since they've been born. Like I was there and I didn't want to be out of his life. And it was just something that kind of happened to both of us and the girls too. And it's something that I didn't necessarily cause or do, but I'm going to have to be an adult and be the parent in the situation because my son deserves that and pick up the pieces and rebuild their relationship again, as would a parent who stepped out or just left their child, which is such a weird feeling when you didn't really leave them and you never wanted to be out of their life. But that's not my child's fault. That's something that I have to do if I want that relationship with him and I'm willing to do it. It just hurts throughout the process of it. But anyway, before this dies, yeah, so I did get to touch his hand like 2 times or 3 times max and just like hand him a toy and like, here you go, and get to touch his hand. I really wanted to hold him, but I did not want to make him uncomfortable. And then when it was time to leave, I did get to like kind of touch his hand a little. Don't know. Anyway, but all I will say is I won't speak on what I saw relationship wise with, you know, my son and the other party. That's not important. This video is just about, you know, the center works and everything. But I will say at the very least that I was, even though there were some things that kind of worried me a bit, like the fact that he's not crawling yet. And I know all babies are in different stages, and that made me wonder like how much is someone playing with him. Like any parent can feel that way. To see him at least kind of smile at the other caregiver, and kind of show some kind of emotional interaction at least once or twice gave me hope that he's been doing okay, or he's at least safe and not being hurt or harmed or mistreated, to some extent. I don't know, but it gave me the hope that that is not the case and that he seems at least comfortable around, you know, that side of his family where he doesn't seem like he's in danger. He seems like he's been healthy. He seems like he's been fed really well. He has the cutest little fat cheeks. I love it. And today really, although it was very emotionally hard for me at some times, and it was a roller coaster of emotions and disbelief kind of feeling, it also made me really, really happy. And then it was kind of like when they left, it was kind of like, oh, see you again in 2 weeks, kind of feeling like, oh, I would love, like, you when you really want to reach out and spend more time with them over the next couple weeks, and you know, like, it's gonna be blank no replies, no photos, no nothing, no communication, no knowing how he is for another 2 weeks. So that part is kind of the unfortunate part. I really miss how the states handle things where they court mandate those interactions between parents, and they're basically like, either going to do it or just don't be a parent if you can't go through with being mature on that level. Here, I think they just don't want couples to fight or people going through divorces to fight. But in the States, they don't care. They're like, deal with it. This is what's for the child. So that really is unfortunate that I'm not able to get any photo updates, medical updates, when that's something that would just be common in the US. And I'm not able to know how he's doing in between visits, which is unfortunate. So yeah, especially because it's not like I'm taking him home to visit with him, which I do respect right now, because I do think with how long it's been, he needs a couple meetings before that. I do agree with that. If it's at least possible and in his best interest. But just the updates in between would have been a good thing if they could have added that in. But yeah, if you are thinking, or if you are going through like a divorce and you're nervous about the centers, they're really nice. They're basically little playrooms. The teachers will go in and they choose one that's a playroom suited for the child's age. And very calmly just sit down, and they'll just kind of let you do your thing and interact. It was less teacher-led than I expected, and it was more just sensing what the child needed. Anyway, so don't be too intimidated by it, and just try to, if you're going through this and this is what you're going to have to go through, just try to spend the time and, you know, just focus on your child. It wasn't as intimidating as I thought, but I just want to let you guys know that he looks healthy and fine. The rest of the court stuff I'll be going through this month. But yeah, that's all I'm going to update for now, because this is dying, but he is good. I feel a little bit better to have seen him. And thank you everybody for all the support and love that you've shown. Because I was meeting a friend who's going back home to Australia the other night, and I was in Seoul. You know, we were grabbing dinner, we were going to Queen Karaoke just to kind of say goodbye to her before she returns. And I went to ask someone for directions. She's on here, she follows me, I won't say who, but her face instantly went like, and I was so afraid. I was like, oh no, I don't want anybody to think I'm, you know, out being crazy or irresponsible. But we talked, and it was a good 5-10 minute conversation, you know, that ended in a hug, and a warm felt hug, and like you got this. And you know, that she said she's in a women's group, and that they had all talked about, you know, my son's case and the situation. But basically that she wanted me to know that there are real people out there that have my back. And I think really seeing that, I'm personally Christian, it was kind of like, it felt like a pat on the back, like it's going to be okay. So for everybody who, you know, I know we're all behind a screen, but it means a lot right now. I just wanted to say that really was a wake-up call. There are real people out there who care, because it was so random. Have a good night, guys.